Hey guys, Robert and Kid here. Welcome again. Welcome back to part two of my last review uh, on my main channel. After that, episode 189 will be back on the original channel once again. Annotation in the side if you want to keep following my comic reviews. That's where they'll be. But This time around, I gave you part one was all about the indie books. Part two is about the DC books. These are the books that came out the last week of September. Um, I haven't picked up my books for this week. I probably won't be picking them up till sorry about that. It's my phone. I probably won't be picking that up till tomorrow or so after Comic Con or something like that. Yeah, I'll be going to Comic Con this week. So yeah. Other than that, let's talk about this. 10 books for you. 10 books. We got Trinity in there. We got Flash. We got Green Lanterns. We got two Titan books and Blue Beetle. Let's get into it. So we're gonna kick this off with Action Comics, number 964. This is Superman meet Clark Kent. I think this is part two of the storyline. Uh, and pretty much this is still Superman trying to figure out, what's going on with this Clark Kent. Is this really Clark Kent? Is this really the Superman of this world come back to life, but he doesn't remember anything? And Superman takes him to his headquarters and does all kinds of tests, and we get a little bit of a indication of what went down. We get some side story that Dan Jurgens does that I don't know if I can really say is justifiably believable, but it is, in a sense, a main reason to kind of go with it. I say go with the plot. And basically, what it is that Superman, when he came he basically took over. Clark Kent has always been around, but he was never Kal-El of Krypton or anything like that. Superman and Clark Kent were never the same person. They were always two different guys. But when Clark got really in deep in his investigation into Genic Khan or something like that, um, he Superman took over his identity, and uh, Clark went into seclusion for a while. But once Superman lost his powers and Clark had to come back and things like the way they told it, like I said, it's not a cop out, but it's a way to like put those missing pieces in that puzzle. Like, all right, here you go. That's the way I looked at it, and it felt like all right. And Superman, our Superman, the pre-52 Superman, is just he has to kind of believe it in a sense. But he does tells Clark why he brought him here, and he wants Clark to get the word out about him and tell people why to believe in him, things like that. But other than that, not really a lot of action, but we do get some more very dialogue heavy, uh, plot heavy in terms of the reasons why this is going down. Um, and we get a little bit of indication of who had Doomsday before Doomsday attacked, everything like that. But this was not bad, not bad at all. I will go with the flow with this, Mr. Jurgens. I will go with the flow. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to Batgirl, number three. Larson and Albuquerque do the artwork. So we picks up right where Babs is in an MMA fight, and yeah, she gets knocked out. I'm not even gonna lie. She gets beat very quickly by this fighter, and she finds out some things about this fighter. This fighter is she's deaf. She's deaf, and but as we all know, Babs has a photographic memory. So once her memory starts to come back after that hellacious knockout, she realizes that the fighter had the same tattoo that that Kabuki makeup warrior woman had in the first two issues. So and then her friend Kim gets attacked by this woman in Vale, and Barbara helps and realizes that the woman in the veil is the same woman she fought in the MMA ring. So the plot starts thickening from there, and she starts wondering, what does Kim know? Does Kim know more than anybody knows? So she takes another road trip, still in Asia, but she goes to uh, Seoul, South Korea, to get some more indication of what's going on, and it starts, and the plot thickens from there. But other than that, not bad. This road trip that Barbara is on, I'm digging it, but I'm just trying to figure out what is the outcome of it gonna be. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much it. Batgirl number three. Let's move on to Blue Beetle number one. Giffens and Collins artwork. And this Collins artwork was not as bad. You know, not for me like hard to look at. I actually was fine with it. Now, remember how I said in Blue Beetle Rebirth that they basically said that um, Ted Cord was never Blue Beetle. It's kind of, I guess, reference that he was Blue Beetle because he brings it up, my Beetle days, and I'm like, okay, so he was Blue Beetle at one point, but he's just alive now. Okay. So we're getting more indication of what happened between Dr. Fate and I guess the Scarab, things like that. And Jaime's just trying to be an average kid. You know, he has this thing, you know, this scarab embedded in his spine, and Ted Cord just keeps coming around, you know, researching him, and or more importantly, just wants, you know, Jaime to do some, well, do superhero work, and it gets that, and it's really funny. It's the funniest thing is just listening to them speak over, like it has kind of a Batman Beyond like feel because Bruce was in Terry's ear, Ted is in Jaime's ear, and they're communicating. And Jaime investigates some news, some info that he got from Ted, and it goes from there. He battles this guy who was able to blend darkness with earth and things like that, and it was interesting. But there's just the funniness between Jaime and Ted is just hilarious to me. I find that the funniest. But Blue Beetle number three, number one, excuse me, number one, not bad. All right, we move on to Deathstroke number three. Okay, this was good, Mr. Priest. This was fun. You got Joe Bennett doing the artwork in here. So, Deathstroke finds out there's a hit on his daughter. So he goes and travels to see Rose. And he sees Rose in her apartment, and she's hooked up with some guy. And Slade is just like, what are you doing? This is going to make you weak. He's being everything what a father is not supposed to be. But it's Deathstroke. It's Slade Wilson. What he's an ass. He's a dick. He's it is what he is. He's a hard man to get to know. And they investigate what's going on, and you know they do it in a father daughter duo, and it's just like it's not clicking with them. They're at odds with each other. And, you know Slade is just like, nothing, you haven't been trained properly. And it's said in here, Rose was trained by Nightwing. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay. But she just, her job when she's not doing this is, she's a bouncer. She's a bouncer at a strip club. And, he's just like, it was just funny. This was just hilarious. We do get to see more of how Slade lost his eye when his eye got shot out by his ex-wife. I was glad that they kept that in there after his son died. But other than that, this was just fun, just seeing the Rose again. It's good to see Ravenger again, but it's just like she don't really care. She doesn't even call Slade dad. She just calls him. She just says Slade. It's funny. It is what it is. But Mr. Priest did a good job with this. And Joe Bennett, I love Joe Bennett's artwork. Very good art. Um, Detective Comics number 941. This is Monster Men Part 3. Steve Orlando, Tillian the Fourth, McDonald. This storyline is really getting kind of weird for me in a sense because it's like, I'm not saying that Batman has never dealt with like monsters or something like that, but this is just, it's just kind of weird. Monsters are popping up. The team is just doing whatever they can to keep the citizens of Gotham safe. Uh, Gotham Girl has gone off, head, you know, head cocked, and just she wants to help, but we don't know if she's really right up here. The effects of Psycho Pirate is really still affecting her, and it kind of causes her and Nightwing big time in this, and that's pretty much the gist of it. But this Monster Men storyline is just kind of weird at times. I'm reading it and I'm just like, hmm, okay, you know, okay, that's just the way I look at it. It's just like, yeah, just hope let's get to some more goodness and not this. Sorry, it's just how I feel about the Monster Men storyline. Let's move on to Flash. The Flash, number 7. Williamson. Uh, we get more of an indication of why uh, August has become Godspeed. Now, I've told people that I didn't like that August was Godspeed. I felt like that. No, that was and I kind of had him even in the beginning. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be Godspeed, and then I kind of was like, no, he's not. And when it happened, I was just like, I should have kept structured my instinct and said, yeah, it is him. But in this, it is all about justice for his brother. That's his reasons for why, and it it's kind of the opposite of Barry, in a sense. And August is just dishing out Barry. He's able to do things that Barry may have not been able to do. Like he can be in two places at once, and have a solid person and things like that. But it's also cause him great harm and things like that. And Barry, being that Barry, this is still his friend. Barry is just really trying to be the friend that Barry is. Barry is. It's just the Flash is who he is. But Flash does get hurt, and I am kind of getting tired of this. Every time there's a new speedster, this speedster seems to be faster than Flash. I'm like, all right, come on with that. Like that's got to stop. Like, how is Flash the fastest man alive? But then there's always a villain that seems to be faster than him, and it's just like that cliche is getting a little too old for me, and it really is. As long as I've been reading the Flash, it's like there's always a speedster out there that's faster than him. And I understand that that's supposed to be like a subplot and kind of keeps us kind of cheering for Barry to win, but it's just like it's getting kind of old. You know what I'm saying? But this was not bad. I love the one-on-one talk between Barry and Wally, the other Wally, and there is something at the end that happens between Wally and Barry with the other speedsters, which is cool. But it ends, so to speak, um, not on a. It ends with kind of August basically telling Barry, "I'm going to Iron Heights, and I'm gonna kill Ebar Thawne. Try to catch me." Dun dun dun. So, but this was good. This issue kind of picked up a little bit. I know I've heard a lot of people and friends saying, Flash is kind of, it's kind of doesn't feel like we're 7 issues in, and it still kind of doesn't feel like, it's kind of at a slow pace. This issue seemed to be picking up the pace a little bit. All right, Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps #5. Okay, even Venditti and Van Shriver. Oh man. Okay, this was good storytelling here. You have Guy at the clutches of the Corps, and he's being tortured. We have the Corps realizing that we got to go out and find Guy. Some people, other members of the universe, are realizing that the Green Lanterns are back. We have Sornek basically did surgery on Hal, and Hal reveals some secrets about to Sornek about himself. For example, he's changing in a sense, or he's able to bend will to his own meaning. Like he can turn his hand into solid will. Like his hand turns green, and I was just like, whoa. Um, Sort of kind of gives her reasoning why she joined the Corps. Her father's Corps again, and why, and she was leader, and she was. There are some good. She goes on to say there are some good Sinestro Corps members, and they are good, and that's hard to believe just from seeing it what it is. But she gives Barry Hal all the info she has on how Sinestro is back alive and why he's not dying and everything like that. And Barry just says like, okay, well, if to all those good Corps members that you say there are, you tell them to get out of here because I'm gonna burn this shit down. I'm gonna burn it down uh, myself, and it's a classic pose that we've seen before with how even the Corps is coming, but he doesn't know. He feels that he's the last, but it looks like there's gonna be a war on War World. But yeah, like Barry said, he's gonna burn that shit to the ground. I keep saying Barry. Hal said he's gonna burn that. He's gonna burn it to the ground. And we're gonna see what's gonna happen. And will the other? The question really is what will the other Lanterns think of the return of Hal? Will they look at him as a deserter, or will they treat him as a member of the Corps, or will the title of this comic really mean something? Like it's Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. Like there's two separate entities. But we'll see where it is. Teen Titans Rebirth #1. Ben Percy. I was not really gonna give this. I was only gonna give Ben Percy one book, and that was Green Arrow. And he's been really doing well on Green Arrow, and it feels like Green Arrow that I've been reading for years is back to feeling like that way again, and that's good. So this new incarnation of how does this team come together with this little shit right here? Yes, I'm not a fan of Damian Wayne, guys. I'm not. He's a little big-headed shit to me. I can't stand him. Um, but basically, we see members of this team where there are, some Beast Boys in L.A. Um, Starfire is in where was she? I think she was in the Caribbean somewhere. Um, Starfire, yeah, she was in the Caribbean. They just say the island of Tornado. Um, Raven is in New York, and of course, Wally is in Central City. And each one of them gets abducted. Pretty much, that's the best way. That's pretty much. It wasn't like they came together to fight a common threat. No, each one of them is doing their own thing. Some of them are remembering Red Robin, Tim, and they get abducted by this little shit right here. And it's just like they wake up and they're at the mercy of this little shit right here. Yeah, and it's just like what the hell? It's like what the hell, Damien? What do you want from them? And go. That's pretty much it. But I must say, this does intrigue me for why Damien captured all these, captured these four, and why. Titans, number three, Kadabra's Revenge. Yeah, the team is still fighting Abracadabra. Wally gives them more of a 411 on him, and we find out that it is he who put Barry in the time stream, removed him from the time stream and everything. Put him in that time stream and everything like that. And Wally explains to the rest of the team that Abracadabra is not really a magician. Like, it's not really magic. It's more of technology and things like that. And more people of Keystone City are realizing who the Titans are. We get a little bit more. We get a little side story for Bumblebee and Mal Duncan. They're married. They have a kid and everything like that. And Bumblebee's realizing, she has powers. It's just stuff like that. Um, we also get more because they were fighting like evil clones of their younger selves, and uh, the Wonder Girl, the Diana Troy, the evil Diana Troy put a lasso around Roy, and Roy confessed his love for Donna, and Donna confronts him with that, and he's like, "No, I don't love you. That was a fake. That was fake. We're just cool friends," and which is not true. He does. Um, and it's more of Barry and Linda Park, and unfortunately ends bad for Linda and Wally. But this was pretty good. Abnett does a good job of this, and like I said, I'm not the biggest Brent Booth fan as with his art. I just sometimes he just draws people really weird, um, but it was tolerable. I was okay with it. And we end this with Wonder Woman number 7. Greg Roca still doing a spot on job with this series. Um, I think this is the end story arc between the Lies. This is part 4 of the Lies, and it's Diana and Barbara Minerva, Cheetah, dealing with this, rescuing the captives that the what is this guy's name? Yours Kartaga. I want to say that Yurga Targa. I think that's how you say his name. Has captured, and he's going to sacrifice Steve Trevor so he can enter this world and everything like that. And um, you just see it's it's Wonder Woman Cheetah to the rescue, and you get to see them just showing how much, how true a friend Diana really is. She's not gonna allow Cheetah to fall back into her evil ways in a sense, because Taga is pretty much is telling Cheetah all these things like, if you do this for me, I'll make you back into your human form again. And Diana said it's a lie, blah blah blah, and it ends. this book ends on a kind of a aw moment. Steve and Diana are reunited, and you know they both said, I miss you, and I miss you too," and just really nice stuff right there. I thought that was cool. But it's what happens to Barbara that really just proved that Diana kind of held up her bargain, her end of the bargain. And I won't spoil what that is because you probably figured it out. But this was just really good. And now the next is back to the year one stuff, and then the previous will be back to finding the mascara. But Mr. Roka's still killing it with this title. I tell everybody this is probably, people ask me what's one of their favorite titles of the new DC Rebirth, or this is it. This is great stuff. Roka has not lost his touch with Wonder Woman. I loved his first run. I'm loving this run. But other than that, guys, that is it for part two of my comic review. Um, all DC. This is all the DC. Part three, I'm going to finish it off. Part three with the Marvel books that came out for September 29th. And other than that, guys, I hope you have a good day. Um, enjoy the rest of your day. If uh, I'm gearing up for Comic Con, which is, I'm recording this today, which is Wednesday, so and new comic books come out, but I won't be picking mine up till later. But tomorrow is Comic Con, and I'm just really gonna be enjoying being around my people. You know, for the first time. You know, I'm gonna enjoy it. But other than that, you guys take care.